Tonight, let's talk about suspension chords. Suspension chords are often called sus chords. Essentially, we find the first and the fifth note in a major scale, and then we add the fourth note to get the most common kind of suspension chord. This is either called a sus chord or a sus4 chord. There are two mixed fifths, and I call them oddballs. One note is white and the other note is black. The other 10 fifths are all white or all black. So we find our fifths and then we add a fourth note, and then we were almost done. I'm going to show you one example of each color combination. Then we can repeat the same process, but this time adding note number 2 in each major scale. And that gives us a sus2 chord. The only thing that is left is to use 2 and 4 at the same time, and that is called a double sus chord. These three sus chords, the sus4, sus2, and double sus, can be combined in more complicated chords. For instance, any of these sus chords can be combined with an alteration of the dominant 7th chord or the major 7 chord. But in this case, we are simply adding some kind of 7th degree to the sus chords we already have. Now it's time for the rabbit hole. There is always a rabbit hole. When Bach used sus chords, he always followed them with major and minor chords, and this idea was continued for more than a century. However, beginning with Debussy, composers began using these sus chords as stand-alone chords that could be used anywhere for any reason without going to any further destination or coming from any other chord preceding them. This sound is in general much more modern to our ears. It can sound more distant, or more unfinished, or more detached, depending upon how we use these chords and the mood we want to convey. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave me comments about anything you like, anything you'd like to see in the future, and remember that I consider all suggestions.